4 fingers really to cradle the occiput and spread them like this. Okay, and you direct your 3rd and 4th finger right at those condyles, anterior. Is that right? Okay, and then just hold it there until you get those suboccipital and cervical muscles to just relax. And once you feel the relaxation, then you'll back off that kind of traction up that occiput. And with your other hand, it's easier on a table, but with that other hand, you're going to take hold of the sphenofrontal area here, and then just kind of traction anterior and inferior, which is like a nosedive. At the same time, you're getting that occiput to move up. And when you feel it really move up, then take this 3rd and 4th finger and just spread them laterally, as if you're really decompressing those condyles from the atlas. And it takes a while, but it really works well. And so you'll feel, as you're doing these, you'll feel when it's time to move. You know, like you get the softening of the cervical tissues, and then you'll actually feel the occiput start to move up. Just go with it, putting a little more traction, and just putting a little anterior motion into the frontal, the sphenoid actually, and then just spread your fingers laterally as if you're really decompressing the occiput, the condyles. When I was probably within my first year of practice, I had a woman bring in a 6-week-old baby that had tremors. Every time she'd lay her down on the table or the bed to change her, she would just go into tremors. And she would scream as if in terror. She was terrorized. She would almost go into convulsions. The parents had taken her to Stanford University, where she was born, and they did all kinds of tests. They couldn't find anything. They said, "We don't know what it is, lady. Guess you'll just have to live with it." Well, she couldn't. And a friend of hers told her to bring her in to me. And when I first laid the baby down, started to undress her, she had this tremor, so severe that I thought she was going to go into convulsions. And so I had the mother pick her up and start feeding her. And as she fed her, I just started palpating the occiput and atlas. And I couldn't even find the atlas. Her occiput was just so in there that in this hyperextension, I couldn't even find it, the atlas. Anyway, so I just started it. And at this time, I was doing SOT work, which is, it's all the same. Desjardins talked about all the same moves, all the same cranial base, all the same movements and everything. He just didn't work quite with the same rhythm that upledger work does. But anyway, I just started tugging up on that occiput and just held it and held it. And it took at least 10 minutes. And during that time, though, first of all, I was real scared because I new in practice and I'd never seen anything quite like this, and I was like, oh boy. But while I was working with her, I was really listening to the mother tell the story of the birth and everything, and she didn't think it was a hard birth at all, which later we found out because her husband said, yeah, you know, when she presented, the doctor just took her and jerked her out, and that's how he saw it. And but the mother really didn't know any of this. Anyway, we're talking to the mother about the family situation and everything, which was not very pleasant and not very harmonious. But anyway, I got this sense of the baby just didn't want to be here. It's like she just didn't want to be in this life. And so I just said that to the mother. I said, you know, I think part of the terror that we see is like she doesn't know if it's okay to be here or not, if it's safe. The mother started crying, telling me all the stuff about what was going on for her. And then the mother started bonding a little deeper with the baby. She started letting go of things and accepting her. And within that whole treatment, which took probably a half hour, the mother was much more clear about having the baby, much more accepting, much more willing to be responsible and be there. The baby's sense of terror just left. And with the occiput relieved, we laid her back on the table to put her diaper back on, and she was fine. Mother came back the next day and said that she had one small tremor at night when she got up for her feeding, and she changed her. She said, but it was nothing compared to what she had been going through. And so, I checked her again, worked a little bit more with the occiput and the rest of the cranium, and she's fine. So that occiput is like really important.